There is a massive issue, a plague that's attacking artists, especially beginners and amateurs like me. And I recently came across a comment that basically said that they only feel like an artist when they are consistently creating a lot of art on a daily basis. This really begs the question, when did we let art become a labor? When did we let art become so machine like? How did we let ourselves think of being like machines who focus on the output and the volume of work instead of the quality of work? In this day of AI and automation, where AI can literally do anything for you in just a few prompts, from writing entire books to making art to making animation to making movies, it is absolutely crazy just how much AI can do nowadays. So you might ask, and we have all been asking this because I know that I am, and I hope that I'm not the only one, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. How do we survive and thrive as artists? In a world where art is being made with a few sentences, with a few words like make a pretty picture of a flower, and boom, an AI gives you a picture of a very realistic flower, and it's AI art. How do we, you and me, who like to go through the process of making art through digital medium, traditional, or whatever, even if you like putting rocks together and making art, that is an art form. So for you and me, how do we accomplish standing out? How do we accomplish being successful? Well, it's pretty obvious when you think about it, but we don't. So here it is. Ask yourself, what do we have which other people using AI tools don't? What can they not replicate about us? What is unique only to us which we can use to stand out? Well, if you haven't been able to guess it yet or think about it yet, the answer is our emotions, our thoughts, and most importantly, our unique view on the world around us. That's something no one can replicate. The way you look at the sunset will never ever be the same as another person looking at a sunset. It is just going to be different. So, how do we actually make use of this? Well, why don't we just learn from the greatest artists ever, whom I would argue majority of the world knows, anybody into art knows about them. And the first example would be Pablo Picasso. Another example would be Michelangelo. They did not make art. Think about it. In their times, were they thinking about monetizing their art? Were they thinking about, yes, I'm going to make this painting, I'm going to sell it at this much, and I'm going to live a rich life? I don't think so. Because when you study their biography, when you study their history, and you study what their life was like, you can clearly see that they focused on exploring their art. They focused on the quality of their artwork. Michelangelo perfected his anatomy of the human body so much that his sculptures showed his passion, showed how deep his understanding of the human body was. He saw the human body, he saw the anatomy of the human body in ways that you and I don't. If you know the famous statue of Moses by Michelangelo, then there is a forearm there, and there is a particular vein there, which is only seen on the surface of the skin when your pinky is slightly moved straight while your other fingers are basically, still folded. And that is when that particular muscle is activated, only then. And Michelangelo sculpted that. That's just how deep his understanding of the human body was. He was able to look at the human body in ways you and I don't. And guess what? Even after hundreds of years, okay, not a lot of hundreds of years. It wasn't that long ago, but yes, after years and years, we still read about him, we still learn about it, we are still in awe of his art, his mastery, his creativity. So, what does this really say? Whenever you go on social media and you go on YouTube and you look up how to be successful as an artist, there's a lot of great advice out there, and I myself have learned a lot from it. But one main delusion that I found myself getting trapped in, and I'm sure that you have to at some point. I'm really happy for you if you've gotten out of the trap, but if you haven't, then hear me out. Delusion that we have to output a lot of work, that volume, I almost messed up my words there. The volume matters more than the quality, like quantity over quality. That is a delusion we are stuck in. And what makes this delusion so dangerous is that it's not entirely false. It is based on evidence and truth, which is then twisted into something sinister, something that leads you to burnout, something that leads you to no good at all. So, what is the evidence which makes this delusion based in, truth? Well, if you look at Pablo Picasso, he made over 12,000 drawings over his lifetime, and probably after his 1,000th drawing or 1,200th drawing, I'm not exactly sure which one, he started gaining recognition. You could do the research, you can find out how many failed attempts he had before he finally hit it big, I mean. And it's arguable, it's debatable, because the history records can always be wrong. But the main point here is that when you look at it from a statistical way, he had to go through a number of failures before he could succeed. And that is very true. You have to go through failure in order to succeed. And that is the truth of this delusion, which makes the delusion itself so dangerous, is that a part of it is true, but the way we take it and the way we interpret it is wrong, and it leads to us sabotaging ourselves. When we think of quantity over quality, we totally dismiss the quality part. We focus on, yeah, I'm going to make three artworks today, I'm going to make three tomorrow, I'm going to make three the day after that, I'm going to make three artworks every single day for 7 days. But will that really substantially improve my art? Will that make me stand out? It will over time. Yes, if I did that for a year, it will definitely make me improve. Will it make me stand out? Maybe. I mean, you can never really tell for sure. But is that really what the great artists did? I mean, you yourself, if you have tried this, you realize that you go into burnout, that you face creative blocks, and that it ends up not working out for you and you struggle with that art. And for most of us, I have seen this in my comments in my shorts, is that art is a form of stress relief, it's a form of relaxation. So when you make it mechanical and you make it machine-like, it really does not work out. At least for me, it did not. If it does for you, that's great. So what do we really do here, you and me? We look, we go back to the origin of art, from cave paintings to Renaissance. Think about it. What is art? Art is a form of storytelling. Think about the cave paintings. The cave paintings showed people, showed mammoths, showed animals, showed fire. Those were stories on the walls of those caves. Stories for other Homo sapiens at that time, or Neanderthals, or yeah, even Neanderthal caves, I think they found cave paintings there. So those cave paintings were a form of storytelling, maybe like a warning to others that yes, mammoths can kill you, and yes, touching fire does hurt. So maybe that was the purpose of art back then, of cave paintings, but still it was a form of storytelling. And art even now is a form of storytelling. This is not controversial, this is a fact that art is a form of storytelling. And art is an expression. These are the two most important things about what art is: an expression and a form of storytelling. We all know the storytelling part, that we need to tell a story, we need to tell a story with our art. But what we skip out on and what we glaze over is the fact that art is an expression of ourselves. This leads us back to the question, what do we have that AI cannot replicate? And that is a soul. You and I have a soul, have a unique view of the world that others cannot simply replicate because they have their own version. And because of that, they cannot possibly replicate and copy paste our uniqueness. So, in realizing that art is an expression, what you can do and what I think you should do in your art is to break out of the delusion and share yourself with the world. Put yourself out there like I'm doing now. This is my first face reveal on YouTube, and I'm nervous as hell, but you know what can go wrong? This is one life, we have one life. And even if my channel tanks, I'll be happy I did this and I tried it out. And I'm hoping that however many people watch this, even if it's just like 3 or 5, I hope that at least one of you learned something from this and I can affect your outlook after this video, even a little bit. And that would be successful to me. So the greatest challenge for artists now is to really be honest with themselves and be comfortable with themselves and be able to express their emotions and their thoughts out on a blank canvas or whatever medium you're using. That is the real challenge because everyone else is doing the new business trend, is doing the trendy thing, is following the whatever trend is going on basically, you know? They are doing the popular thing, they are doing the AI hacks, they are doing the AI business models. But is that who you really are? Is that what you're going to think about when you're old and think, yes, I'm so proud I did that? Really think about it. Really ponder about it. Really analyze your thoughts. But there is another trap here too. If you analyze your thoughts too much, you live in your head and not in actual life. So I wouldn't recommend that too. So the only way out of this, really, the way I see it, is that you share your story, your personal story every day, or not every day, anytime you want, but keep it regular because you don't want to lose your touch. And trust me, if you are an artist, you love doing art, because otherwise, why would you be an artist, right? So, doing it regularly or on a consistent basis won't be difficult for you because you enjoy it. So, put your personal story out there and try to resonate with just one person. All the great art pieces were not made for the masses, were not made for the millions of people, were not made for the whole world. They were made for a specific group of people, a specific people who experience a specific feeling, and it was targeted to them. Van Gogh's Starry Night. It wasn't meant for the masses. Michelangelo's Statue of David. It wasn't meant for the whole world. They were always thinking, or Leonardo da Vinci's The Mona Lisa, they were always thinking about the whole world. They were thinking of a particular set of people or even just one person. And if you want to prove me wrong, you can go ahead and look it up. You can research. If you prove me wrong, I'll be happy because I'll get to learn something new. But I'm pretty confident when I say this, is that when they did these artworks, they were not planning on resonating with the whole world. They were targeting a specific group or just one person. And when you do that, when you have that deep connection with one person, you can't even fathom this, but other people can then empathize and relate to you even more. But when you try to please everyone, you end up getting a shallow connection, which is like, it's not that good, it's not that bad, it's just average. And as artists, I really don't think we want to be average. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching. This is the first time I'm doing something like this, so if you stayed till the end, thank you so much. And if you liked my content, like, and if you really liked my content and you think you learned something, then subscribe. And if you want to have a conversation with me or any of the other people who hopefully watch this video, then put your question or your thoughts or whatever you want in the comments and I'll reply. And hopefully others who watch this video also reply. Well, I really don't know. So thanks for watching and have a good day.